Hello and welcome to this week's video. I am Dolly here with my friend Josh Ogden. So thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me. I was so excited to get to catch up with you.
Yes, well, we needed to do this. This is the second one that we have done, and I wanted to, we did one prior to your election as a judge, and then, well, re-election as a judge, and then I wanted to kind of let everybody know where we're at.
Absolutely. Happy Friday. Happy Good Friday.
Good, same. So what is a day in the life of a family court judge?
Well, every day is different, but every week kind of looks the same. So everything is marked out probably 3 to 4 months in advance. We are very busy in family court. We've got 10 family court judges in our county here in Jefferson County. Bless you. But we hear all different sorts of cases, and depending on the day, we hear different cases. So Mondays and Fridays, I tend to hear my circuit cases like custody or divorces or adoptions. And then on Tuesdays, I hear domestic violence cases. On Wednesdays, I hear paternity cases where parties share children but are not necessarily married. And then Thursdays are my really hard days. That's dependency, neglect, and abuse. So we hear cases where we talk about, sometimes reunifying the family if it's appropriate, but sometimes we have to take kids away for a time and let mom or dad or both work on what's going on with them. So
That's good.
yeah, it's exciting.
I mean, that last day, I wouldn't.
Yeah, not my favorite day.
I know, it might not be. So what is the most rewarding part of the job of practicing family court?
Well, when you're in family court, first of all, it's never dull or boring. It's always interesting. You really see into people's lives. You can help people during the most difficult times in their lives. I mean, you're talking about their children, their property, their income, and people, there's so much need in our community, and people need the family courts. If they can't agree between them on what's best for their family, then the family court judge decides. So it's a huge responsibility. We have thousands of cases filed every year per judge, then that's on top of the thousands that come back year after year after year, because 18 years is kind of a long time.
Yep.
And as long as that kid is a minor, we've got jurisdiction, to make sure that that child is taken care of.
Good, okay. So how long does the family court case take?
So it depends on every family. Every family is different, and we really try to make individualized orders that are specific to that family. Okay. But as I mentioned, it might be a few months before you could get your court date. And sometimes it can take a while to get your order. You come into court, you need relief, you present your case to the judge, but she has a lot of other cases, and sometimes we need to do our research. We need to look at the case history. We need to look at other cases that family has been involved with. And we try so hard to get orders out quickly, but sometimes it can be some weeks before you get your result. Sometimes cases will go on and on and on, just because it's very high conflict. Sometimes you may never see the judge. You might agree on everything. They have a family court clinic many Fridays during the month at the courthouse, where you can buy the paperwork to do your divorce yourself. And you can pay $20. You get all the forms. There's volunteer lawyers that will help you fill out the paperwork, and you may never even have to see the judge if you all are able to reach agreements. But like I said, sometimes it can be 18 years, sometimes it can be 6 months. So it really depends on your family and the court schedule, and you might have a judge that's on holiday vacation, so they don't get the order out before they go, and I know we're all working so hard for Jefferson County families.
So what tip do you have for people coming into the courtroom for the first time?
So it can be very scary and intimidating to come in to court. Even lawyers are nervous when they come in. And the best thing is just to be prepared. If you filed your motion, you need to be on time. If you are late, if you have a 9 o'clock hearing and you have a half hour allocated to your case, and you show up a half hour late, there's going to be another case right behind you, and you're going to have lost your spot and missed your opportunity, and then you have to file another motion, and then you get another court date 2-3 months out. So be on time, dress respectfully of the court. You don't have to be in a coat and tie. You don't have to be in heels and hose and a dress. But you do need to not be like in pajamas or, tank top. We get it all. We do. So be respectful of the court's time. Be dressed properly. Don't be looking too terrible when you come in. But justice is blind. We'll take you anyway. But it's just you're going to get the best opportunity. Have your exhibits ready. If you're going to have some witnesses, make sure they're here. If you've got copies of your pay records or tax returns or some text messages or emails, go ahead and bring that in and have extra copies. If you have a copy for the other side and a copy for the judge and then your copy, that would be perfect. So that would be, you'd be better prepared than many attorneys coming into my court. So
good. All right. So what makes a good judge? So and I feel like I asked you that question before, but I just want to know again, what really makes a good judge?
When we talked before, I was appointed to be a family court judge, which has just been a dream job for me. I didn't know from the time I was very small that I wanted to be a judge, but several years ago I thought, I could do this. I think I could help, and bring my expertise. And so you want a judge that, now that I've been elected, I've been on the bench a little bit longer. And so I understand even more the importance of listening to people. I need to be the same judge at 9 a.m. that I am at 4 p.m. after a long day. And believe me, many of us adopt the philosophy that there is no justice without lunch. We got to break for lunch, can't let that blood sugar get too low. But we have to work hard, and we have to always remember we're public servants, and that it's not my courtroom. This is the people's courtroom, and we're here to help. And so I just try to work hard. I try to get orders out quickly. I try to listen and not make a decision until I've heard from both sides. So, you might hear the first side of the story, and wow, that makes sense. I wonder why this isn't, this sounds like a good idea. And then you hear the other side and you realize, that now we're hearing the full story here. So you have to just listen and be open and not have any preconceived notions and just treat people how you would want to be treated. I try to be welcoming and respectful and yes ma'am, no ma'am, and I run on time. I don't want people waiting for me. So if someone's here for their 9 o'clock case, Judge Ogden's going to be there.
Awesome.
And ready to go, having reviewed the file and ready to hear their case.
Awesome. Well, that's really good. And it's important to, whenever we are we're voting for a judge, for example, just to make sure that they keep the consistency. And you have. I'm so glad to have you as a friend.
Oh my gosh, thank you. I'm so glad to have you as a friend.
Good. And the last question is, how long will you be a judge?
So because I was filling out the term that had been started by another judge who retired, and actually her name was Dolly. So
hi, Dolly.
It's been a few years since there's been a Dolly in the courtroom here. We're so glad you're here. But we are usually elected in family court every 8 years. And so, however, because I filled out this unexpired term, I will have been here for 5 of 8 years when I'm up for re-election in 2022. So that will be when all the judges in our entire state are on the ballot. So when you flip that ballot over, it's going to be jam-packed with every judge: Supreme Court, Court of Appeals, Circuit Court, Family Court, District Court, and there's a lot of judges in Kentucky. We're all accountable to the people. We're all up for election. People that are doing a good job, want to keep their jobs, and it's all nonpartisan. So there can be a lot of confusion with these elections because different judges are coming up for election at a different time. District court comes every 4 years, circuit and everything else is every 8. And so people just have a lot of confusion about how it works. But I'm a resource. Dolly knows now everything that goes on here, and people can send in questions or talk to us about what we stand for and what we do in family court, because it's so important to what's going on in our community, to have strong judges and people working hard for you.
Awesome. Thank you so
Oh
much.
my gosh.
It was so great having you again. And we'll do this from time to time as time allows.
Absolutely. As issues pop up that are of interest to your friends and colleagues and followers, I'm here. I'm happy to be a point person to talk to and to be provide some access to what we do here. And as laws are always changing and things come up in the news and issues, and I'm happy to welcome questions as long as it's not a case that's going to come in front of me. And we try just again to stay very neutral about what might happen in a particular case. We won't have all the facts until it comes into our courtroom.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much. Let me show you guys the courtroom, because we are here by ourselves here.
Yes.
Let's see how I can do this. That's where you would sit, right?
That's the bench. Yes.
That's the bench. And then this is the rest. We are here by ourselves today.
Yes. No court today on Good Friday.
Yep. There we go. All right.
Perfect.
So once again, guys, thank you so much for sharing, commenting. If you have any questions directly for her, please just comment below, and she'll be tagged in this video. And